Sneaky students. New right now on ABC 3340, the secret smoking device hitting our schools. And Chief Meteorologist James Spann.
A thorough soaking for the state over the past 24 hours. A drier day tomorrow, more rain this weekend.
Plus, Gerber's got a new face. The smile says it all. Why some say the food maker's move isn't tasteful, it's powerful.
ABC 3340 News at 10 starts now.
Have you ever seen this?
I have no idea.
That's disturbing.
Classroom Confidential, the device that looks innocent by design, but it could be putting your child at risk. In one moment, the secret is revealed. But first, the chill is underway. This as many of you continue to clean up after severe weather. Good evening to you. I'm Christopher Sine.
And I'm Brenda Ledun. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll talk about the storms, but let's get an idea of what to expect next. Alabama's Chief Meteorologist James Spann guides us through it. James?
Well, tonight the cold air is back temporarily. Temperatures are at the freezing mark now for Coleman and Haleyville. Both these cities sitting at 32, Birmingham at 37. We're expecting lows tomorrow morning in the upper 20s and low 30s. And the good news, tomorrow will be a drier day. Still some lingering light rain down here across the southern half of the state. Nothing heavy. We'll see sunshine back in full force tomorrow. Highs will likely be in the 50s. But the dry weather will not last long. It's a very active weather pattern. Moisture comes back late Friday afternoon, and by the time the weekend gets here, we'll deal with more rain. This is Saturday afternoon at 1:30. We could see a few thunderstorms this weekend, maybe a few heavy downpours. How much rain will fall? We've got the full weekend forecast and much more coming up very shortly, so don't go away.
James, we'll see in a few minutes, and tomorrow the National Weather Service is planning on additional surveys for Autauga, Marengo, and Hale counties. In Greensboro, a restaurant cannot serve customers because the parking lot is underwater. And in Moundville, water spilling into the streets, but it is not creating any chaos as of yet. The Hale County EMA director telling us the area in Moundville around the river is closely being monitored. If the rain stays consistent over the weekend, flooding could become more likely.
In Chilton County, the National Weather Service confirms an EF0 tornado left this mess in Jemison. This morning's storm, only lasting minutes, damaged the roof of St. James Community Bible Church. The church served as a daycare for working parents in the community. Accommodations are being made for the children at the daycare and for Sunday worship. A Pizza Hut delivery driver was shot and robbed of his delivery tonight. Around 8, the pizza driver drove up to a home in the Avondale area. When he knocked on the door, they denied the order. He called his supervisor about this when two men walked up, shot him in the pelvis, and robbed him. He was able to drive himself to a fire station for help. Right now, Birmingham police are looking for the men.
A former teacher in Pickens County fighting for her right to have sex with students. ABC 3340 News has obtained court documents in Charlie Jones Parker's appeal. She is a former Pickens Academy teacher, currently serving time for having sex with two 16-year-old male students. She wants her conviction overturned because she claims Alabama's law prohibiting sex with students is unconstitutional, since people in other professions can have consensual sex with teens. The age of consent in Alabama is 16. Well, if it's been a while since you've set foot in a high school, the trend has changed, you might say, a little bit. Teens these days are doing what's called juuling. Juuling is a popular trend in high school hallways and in bathrooms as well. This Classroom Confidential trend is letting more teens take a sneaky smoke, you might say, at school. ABC 3340's Andrew Donnelly spoke with teachers and parents about juuling and what it means for your student.
E-cigs come in all shapes and sizes, some more popular than others. One popular vape with young people, the Juul. One reason.
It looks like a charger of some sorts, but I'm not certain.
Its true identity is a little hazy to parents.
I have no idea.
And teachers.
USB or something like that.
That's why teenagers say it can be hidden in plain sight and they're bringing it to school. And on top of the lug, it actually plugs in to your computer. The FDA compiled information on middle and high school students from 2016. The report states that at least 4.3% of all middle school students currently used e-cigarettes. High school, more than double that at 11%. And get this, teens are actually juuling at school.
You're kidding. Okay.
That's Keisha McAlpine, a Shelby County middle school teacher.
That's disturbing.
She's a mom of a middle schooler too.
I wonder if he knows what that is.
We called him over. Short answer. Followed by a big sigh of relief.
Thank you, Lord.
Now, here's the thing. Juul claims it doesn't use certain chemicals contained in many e-liquids known to be dangerous. But we spoke with a doctor about vaping. He says there are still too many unknowns.
If you'd like to be a lab rat, keep on smoking e-cigarettes, because we'll find out in another 10 years whether they're really bad for you or not.
The fact is, nicotine is a chemical, potentially dangerous to everyone. While the FDA says it could possibly be safer than smoking because it generally contains fewer toxins, McAlpine's not buying it. She says no jewels, gems, or stones. She's keeping the toxins out of her classroom.
That's a little scary, but I'll definitely be checking.
I did call around the local school systems. I spoke with them and they said they haven't had any problems with Juul showing up just yet. Chris?
Andrew, so I have the device right here. I stole it from your desk, just so you know. I want you to walk me through how this works. There is a USB end right here. I'm going to point it closer to the camera, and if you move it around, you get a good look here. So I can take that end off. Now I'm left with this. What is this?
Okay, so you see the top area, pull that part apart.
Right here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
That smaller piece, I've got one of those in my hand as well. That's the cartridge. It's also the mouthpiece. That's where the liquid goes. There's no buttons on the device, and just so you know, each cartridge contains about the same amount of nicotine as one pack of cigarette. That equals about 200 puffs per cartridge here.
All right, Andrew Donnelly reporting live for us. Fascinating stuff. Andrew, thank you for that. Speaking of the safety of your children, they are the most targeted when it comes to identity theft.
It only takes seconds to steal, but it could take a lifetime to repair your child's credit. It took a year before 7-year-old Ian Umshed learned that his identity had been stolen. It happened when his family's health insurance company lost a computer hard drive containing customer information.
He said that someone stole the computer and found my name on it, and they made like a card and did my name on it.
Now, experts say a child's identity is more valuable to thieves because children typically have no history of debt. If you get a bill in your child's name or credit offerings for your child, experts say those are two big clues their identity has been taken. If you want to protect your child from identity theft, experts say you can always freeze a child's credit.
Speaking of, Brenda, a Kansas man is accused of stealing identities and possessing a forged instrument, but let's bring it home here. Here's why it matters to you. 32-year-old Justin Fink was taken into custody at the River Chase Galleria after he was spotted by an officer working at the mall. Detectives found 117 stolen checks that had a total face value of more than $760,000. To the State House we go, where lawmakers voted to allow the phrase "In God We Trust" on public buildings. After a lengthy debate, the bill passed 91-4 and now moves on to the Alabama Senate.
A push underway to allow wine shipments directly to Alabama homes. 44 states and the District of Columbia already allow this option to consumers, according to the Wine Institute. Now, Republican Senator Bill Holtzclaw from Madison has a bill at the state to allow the direct wine shipments to Alabama homes. Ozan Winery in Calera is one local vineyard that supports the proposal. It says it would boost wine sales.
We would love to see this bill pass. Anything that helps us as a business helps the state overall. We pay taxes on that wine when it's shipped, so that's more tax money going to the state. We would love to be able to give the state more money.
The bill was scheduled for a public hearing today, but its sponsor, Senator Holtzclaw, asked it to be delayed. He did not make himself available to ABC 3340 today to explain exactly why.
New at 10, the number of U.S. troops in Iraq will soon be reduced after the country declared victory over the Islamic State.
But efforts to stop Americans from joining ISIS is still a serious problem outlined in a new report. Our national correspondent Christine Frizzell explains what it means to you.
A call to arms to join the ranks of the Islamic State. It was a call answered by Zulfi Hoja, who rose to become a senior leader of ISIS in Iraq. He's also from New Jersey.
Show resolve and place your trust in Allah and he will pave the way for you.
He's one of at least 64 U.S. residents who successfully left the country to join ISIS, as outlined in a brand new report on American jihadists in Syria and Iraq, compiled by the George Washington University Program on Extremism.
Our main findings is that there's not a single profile of these individuals. They come from all walks of life.
The report's co-author Bennett Clifford says the top 3 states they come from are Minnesota, Virginia, and Ohio.
So where are these American jihadists now? Well, the report found 34% of them died overseas. 44% are still at large. But here's something interesting. Of the 19% who were arrested, most got shorter prison sentences than the ones who were caught as they were leaving.
They can be very powerful assets in a number of ways for the government, not only in terms of providing information about the group's operation, but also trying to discourage others who may be headed down a similar path.
While the number is shrinking and pales in comparison to some of the counterparts in Europe, the report found very few are lone wolves, and that more and more those interested in joining are urged by ISIS leaders to stay put.
They could be more valuable to the Islamic State or whichever jihadist group if they simply stay in their home countries and commit an attack.
The latest blueprint of a major American challenge, how to stop those already here from turning to terrorism. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
And the news at 10 is just getting started.
Oh, baby, have you seen the new face of Gerber? If you don't smile when you see him, check your heartbeat.
And man's best friend is also man's best hero. Just ahead, the heartwarming rescue you have to see.
Tonight, rain on the way out, cold air on the way in, but the cold air won't stick around long. And the weather for the weekend looking rather unsettled. I've got the full forecast update coming up as ABC 3340 News at 10 o'clock continues.
In this deadly flu season, there are many ways to treat it.
Thursday, the remedies experts say you might not think of.
Breaking news plus traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. Good Morning Alabama, 4:30 to 7 on ABC 3340.